First things, there is a congregation conversation at 10:15 where the session will continue listening and we can have a nice conversation. I don't want to focus on the things we've talked about already, so I want to kind of focus on what has been happening. Recently, there have been about 13 sessions with about 80 to 100 people that attended that were some congregation conversations. And what I want to talk about mainly is what are some of the concerns and the highlights from this. Some of the concerns, of course, is number one, let's just put out there, is the lead pastor and how to staff, what's happening there. Some people say having a different preacher is great. Some people say, well, having a different preacher is a hardship. Sometimes they say the time between the services for education is one of the concerns that has come out. Some people have said outside conflicts. As we know, we're all being inundated with more and more, and sometimes the conflicts of, well, kids have sports, we have other activities on Sunday mornings. Life is changing rapidly. How do we create more opportunities? How do we have personal contacts? How about engagement? So those are just some of the concerns that have been addressed. Some of the highlights that we'd love to talk more about, worship. People have said this is a time to recharge. It's centered, it's focused, it's reconnecting with others and with God. Some people have said the variety, it's exciting, it's different styles, it's a lot of fun. Some of the quotes that I gotta say, these were the most impactful for me when I read through these. You all have to know this about you. You're friendly. People have said this is like a second home to them. They've said, these are quotes. It's my home, my family, my church. This is my community. These are all quotes from you all, not from me, even though I feel the same way. This is from you. People have said some of the important things to them has been the small groups and the Bible studies. You know, nationally speaking, about 10% of people that attend weekly services attend a Bible study or a small group. You all, congratulations, you're about 50% of you. So that is a great testimony to how much you want to live God's word. What we want to do is we want to keep listening. Session really wants to keep listening, and we want to share any experiences, any opinions. Please come and speak with us. I want to close with a couple of things. Always remember, please, 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 pray for our PNC. Pray for that person that God has called us to be the next lead pastor, head of staff here. And I have to say, after listening to all these comments and talking through and reading them, I have to say, if you know me, I am a very opinionated person. And as I went to the worship team, I had my ideas on what this should look like. Then I started reading the comments, and boy, did my mind change. So I really thought about Proverbs 16:24. It came to me recently. My wife was reading something, and I said, this is perfect. I've been searching for something. And Proverbs 16:24 says, kind words are like honey, sweet to the soul. So as we go forth, please remember those words. This week, I also want to share one more thing. On Friday at noon, Tricia got a beautiful email from Reverend Shelvis Smith Mather. He wanted to thank all of us. Unfortunately, if you know anything about what's happening in the world, the South Sudan is having some more problems. And he wanted to thank all of us, all of Crossroads, for our continued support of his mission. Him and his wife are now in North Uganda. However, Nancy is still conducting her peace and education work in South Sudan, and Shelvis said it's amazing to watch his wife using her spiritual gifts to God's glory. Shelvis's Peace Institute in Uganda has been out on pause because of the ethnic-based fighting in the area has become too dangerous to continue at this time. So Shelvis has been working with alumni from the Institute and the refugee camps. He is very proud of these graduates that, despite the world's brokenness and suffering, are working in such an inspiring way. Shelvis wanted to know how he could continue to pray for Crossroads, and it was explained to him that our main prayers lately have been surrounding our next pastors, that God has already chosen, that they may listen to his call. Besides praying for our congregation, we did ask him to pray for you all and how everyone has been working hard to do God's work and hold this congregation together. Shelvis's last words, he referenced Jeremiah, I know the plans.